Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big three news stories of the week. Good morning, Shannon.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Good. Let's take a look at the big three live and local stories this week that's happening where you live. It was a single vehicle crash reported in Carl Junction earlier this week. EMS responded to a pickup truck that had been T-boned by a tractor trailer. It's a really precarious intersection, Ivy Road on the northern edge of Carl Junction at Highway 171. The driver, a Carl Junction resident, Johnny Alford, died later that night into the morning at a local hospital. You can read more on KOAMNewsNow.com. Our number two story, it was a large, what you call marijuana operation, growing operation in between Miami and Fairland that was, I guess you'd say, raided this last week. They call these straw. That people obtain the legal licenses by some straw kind of match. I can't understand completely how that goes, but they picked up 41,000 plants and 700 pounds of marijuana going on the black market, and there were 3 arrests. That was a DEA operation there in Oklahoma. Our number one story, a tragedy in Christian County began as a traffic stop where a deputy was shot and killed. And then it lasted into an 8-hour manhunt that ended in gunfire in the woods near Reed Springs. There's the suspect there, and they were looking for that pickup truck, which they found pretty quickly, but then he had fled into the woods. Now tonight, after these 2 deputies were killed and 2 deputies injured, tonight is a visitation for Deputy Michael Heislop and Deputy Gabriel Ramirez. It will be at James River Church in Ozark, Missouri, and then tomorrow morning will be the services. I know a lot of us obviously here in Joplin in 2022 in March, we lost 2 officers, so we can relate to that tragedy for that small community. And our bonus story of the week, if you're used to traveling north of Carthage, it's the old Highway 71, Garrison Avenue. They're going to close 2 bridges that will cut off the northern part of Carthage. Now, I don't know if they have any plans. There's no plans I know immediately to replace these bridges. It just immediately has just come up. It was an inspection by MoDOT this week that the bridges actually failed. There's 2 bridges in a series of 3 that built in 1928, these arch span bridges. And just recently I even went over and they do look like they're in a lot of disrepair. But it will cut off a community of about 1,000 people that live in the northern section of town. They'll have to drive probably about 2.5-3 miles out of their way to go wherever they have to go if they go in town. So prepare for that. They close this morning at 8 a.m., those bridges.
Well, again, thanks, Shannon, as always.
All right.
We'll be right back.